grateful.
Do you know where you're coming from? Do you know where you're going? And as time is passing, where are you now? Do you know? Do you know? Can you see where the sun is? Can you feel what's in the air? And what's that in the ocean coming to shore? Do you know? Do you know? Is the sky still looking down? And are we still looking upward? Will the world keep turning round if we pretend that it's just not in our hands? Can you see our dilemma? Going far beyond our bounds. It can't be growth if there's no life in the end. Do you know? Do you know? Is the sky still looking down? And are we still looking upward? Will the world keep turning round if we pretend that it's just not in our hands? Is the sky still looking down? And are we still looking upward? Will the world keep turning round if we pretend that it's just not in our hands? Thank you.
We are so blessed with this amazing band and an original song by Dave De La Rosa. But isn't it good to have our whole band back together again? Give them some love this morning. Thank you so much. It's good to have you all back. And it is wonderful to have you here. How many of you, like me, love, love, love fall weather? Yeah. How many had windows open last night or early this morning? It's just wonderful this time of year. So the seasons always remind us that the nature of nature is change and ever moving forward. We gather this day, and we do so in the recognition that many of you, all of you, come from different walks of life, different spiritual and religious traditions, but what brings us here together at Unity is love. Specifically, the realization that God is love, that we are all expressions of that love, and that we're called to be that love. So the way that we are embodying that this year is right here. Would you please join me? We are radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, and socially responsive. With that, I invite you to join in an opening prayer. As we turn our awareness within this morning, we do so in the spirit of gratitude. We take the opportunity to give thanks for a new day, to realize that every morning when we awaken, we are truly born again, and that every day is an opportunity to be born into more of our potential, to change, to create our life anew from within. Today we explore what it is to be one with all creation, what it is to walk on holy ground, what it is to know that we are holy ground. For the sacred time of seeking and finding together, the sacred time of blessing and being blessed. We are truly grateful. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. I invite you to stand as you're able and join in our opening song that says, "It's in every one of us."
It's in every one of us to be wise. without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. It's in every one of us to be true. Find your voice and let your soul shine through. We can all know everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us by and now. It's in every one of us here and now.
Yeah, it's in every one of us. Take this opportunity to turn those around you and to acknowledge that presence within them with a holy handshake or a holy hug. Welcome this morning. Keep your glasses on. I appreciate you, Dave, more than you know. I appreciate you, Don. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive now, alive with the Spirit of God.
Sing that last line.
I am alive now, alive with the Spirit of God.
Yeah. I believe you are alive this morning, knowing that you're alive with the Spirit of God. Once again, we want to welcome each and every one of you this morning. We also want to welcome our beautiful young people that I've seen singing and dancing over here this morning. We have a wonderful Sunday school program and a nursery. We have nursery and toddler care in both services, and then our Sunday school program at this service. So if we have any young people who are going to be part of our Sunday school program, we just invite you to head on over, and we're going to rub our hands together as you're walking over, and we're going to bless you that says, "We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you." Have a wonderful Sunday school experience this morning with those that are already in the back and those that are heading back. We'd also like to extend a special welcome to any of you in particular that are here for the first time. We like to acknowledge our newcomers if they're here for the first time or the first time in a long time. If you want to raise your hand, we'd like to extend a connections card to you. Anyone here for the first time or the first time in a long time? Wonderful. Just hold your hand up for just a moment. Unity folks lovingly point where you saw hands, giving our welcoming team time to find those. So just keep your hands up again, or there's some up this way, Michelle. There's some all over here. Lou, if you want to head this way. So as you're making their way to you, there's a red heart. If you attach that heart, it will allow us to recognize you as a newcomer and extend a special welcome. We have a little welcome booth and center just outside the doors here. There's one still over here. I think they've gone to get more cards back in this direction. You're very patient. Thank you. They're making their way to you over here. If you want to wear these red hearts, we will acknowledge you as a newcomer and extend a special welcome to you. You can drop these off at the Welcome Center. You can pick up packets of information. Let us know if you have any comments or questions. But most of all, we want you to know that we welcome you this day, realizing you're here by what we consider divine appointment. And so to each of you, and we also take this opportunity to pause and to welcome those who are joining us by live stream and those that will join us later via the live stream archive. So we welcome you, and to each of you, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. We truly thank you for being here. Just a few announcements today. If you've not yet turned off your cell phone, we would greatly appreciate if you turn that all the way off, or at least put it on airplane mode. It helps keep the airwaves clear, and we appreciate that. Second is a thank you and a reminder. One of our outreach, our partnerships, we've been working with agencies in the community to collect. We've been a drop-off site. Many of you who have brought in school supplies. So we're getting those out to families and children that don't have the resources. So we'll be collecting those again through this week. I want to thank each of you that have brought them in. And would you just direct your love toward this picture up here, and let us just see every child that has started to school, those that will begin, every teacher. We see every school safe as a place of education. Educate means to draw out that wisdom and knowledge within. We bless these supplies, that the children may realize that they have resources within and they have resources without. And most of all, that they are the greatest resource we have on this earth. Thank you, God, and so it is. And thanks to each and every one of you for being a part of that. Next thing I want to highlight is this Wednesday night, we'll have what's called a Spiritual Principles Tune-Up Evening. From 6 to 6:30, we're having snack luck. That's kind of like potluck. That means bring some snacks that fit on a napkin and you can eat them with your fingers, and we'll just have snacks and share snacks from 6 to 6:30 if you'd like that opportunity to connect and fellowship. And then some of the other associate ministers, our support ministry team, will be joining with me to create a fun evening of just tune-ups on your spiritual principles. Another announcement is to let you know we're so excited. Many of you may know that Mahatma Gandhi, October is Gandhi's 150th birthday. Well, we're so excited that his grandson, Arun Gandhi, is going to be here with us in October as we create something for the greater community to really elevate the ideas of peace, nonviolence, and sacred connection of all life. So there are tickets available in our bookstore. What we're going to do is he'll do 2 presentations, one Saturday morning, one late in the afternoon, so we can fill the place twice and as many people as possible can attend. I also want to thank all of you who said you wanted to help us in planning that event, and there's still an opportunity if you want to be a part of that. You can see any of our ministry team and let us know that. One other announcement that is not on the screen is Reverend Morgan Barclay. Reverend Morgan, would you please stand? Reverend Morgan is one of our support ministers, and he's been guided to create a 5-week series based on conscious living and dying. It's based on his recent experience with his wife, Cynthia, making her end-of-life transition, and him using the process that she went through of a very vibrant living and dying process. And so for 5 weeks on, is it Wednesday nights? What night? Tuesday nights. Tuesday night. Just seeing if you all knew. So there you go. Tuesday nights, beginning in September for 5 weeks. There's a sign-up sheet. Come out the first week, and you'll see how every week is themed, and you may want to attend all 5, or there may be one that really appeals to you. So thank you, Reverend Morgan. So we want to thank you, and also to let you know today is a special Sunday. I'll say more about it, but Earth Care this year fell on Easter. And so back before Easter, we were wondering when would we create a service around our relationship with the sacred earth, and it wound up being this Sunday. Now, as I begin to talk about it, I think you'll see that the universe has a sense of humor, and there's no coincidence that we're having our earth blessing on this particular Sunday. Also, as a part of this, I'd like to invite up Scott, who is here with us from Creation Care Alliance. As he's coming forward, I want to invite up our sustainability team. Here at Unity of the Blue Ridge, we're part of Unity Worldwide history of being good stewards of our resources. And this church in particular really takes that seriously. Through Unity Worldwide, we have received what's called the Earth Care Green Star Award, and Scott's here with us today with one of our partner alliances in the community. And Scott, I'm going to invite you to share what brings you here today.
Great. Thank you very much for having me, and my name is Scott Hardinieri. I'm with the Creation Care Alliance of Western North Carolina. We're a program of Mountain True, and we work in the 25 counties on the western part of this state. And we are connected to about 70 congregations, with about 15 congregations stepping more deeply into this work of sustainability and care for their neighbor by caring for the earth. And when I first moved here from Monteverde, Costa Rica, about 5 years ago, one of the first congregations, as I was trying to find different congregations that are already doing this work, your faith community kept coming up over and over again in different congregations and different conversations as leaders in this work, as ones who others would follow, and the ways that you treat your land, and the ways that you treat one another, and the ways that you seek to love and bless the world around you. And so you have stepped more deeply into relationship with us to provide wisdom to other congregations and to allow us to tell your story more fully, so they might be inspired to do what is right for them in this kind of in their own unique context and place, to love their neighbor by loving creation. And I'm grateful to come to celebrate with you all and to honor this relationship as a covenant partner with the Creation Care Alliance. And I'm deeply grateful for the work that you continue to do, blending this way of being in Sabbath and rest and in critical, compassionate action. And I'm very grateful to be here. And thank you all for all the work that you do on behalf of this congregation and Western North Carolina and the planet at large. And thank you.
You do, and for being here with us today. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much. These that stand before you are representation of your leadership, but they're representative of all of you. And so I invite you to stand. We really have a covenant that we step into, we live together, our Earth Care covenant. If you can find that, Ellen, would you please join me in this? Together. Unity of the Blue Ridge recognizes the sacred interconnection of all creation. We are a community of ambassadors and stewards for sustainability. We respect the body of Mother Earth and our own bodies to create and maintain health, balance, and love. We commit to honor the process of the natural ecological cycles by only making positive environmental decisions. Through intention, education, dedication, and loving conscious action, we do our part to practice sacred interconnectedness. Thank you all, and congratulations again. Thank you, Scott. To share in our inspirational reading today, I've asked Pam and Charlie Rogers. They are longtime members of this spiritual community, but they also are leaders in that they help us with our Charter for Compassion, where we work together with other church communities and other individuals and agencies to really stand in living out the Golden Rule. They also do a lot to bring awareness to what it means to be a true steward of the earth. Would you please welcome them today as they share our inspirational reading? Thank you both.
Well, good morning. Our inspirational reading this morning is an excerpt from a letter written by Chief Seattle to President Franklin Pierce in response to an offer to buy his tribe's lands.
The president in Washington sends word that he wishes to buy our land. But how can you buy or sell the sky? If we do not own the freshness of the air and the sparkle of the water, how can you sell them? Every part of the earth is sacred to my people. Every shining pine needle, every humming insect, all are holy in the memory and experience of my people. We know the sap which courses through the trees as we know the blood that courses through our veins. We are part of the earth, and it is part of us.
The perfumed flowers are our sisters. The bear, the deer, the great eagle, these are our brothers. The shining water that moves in the streams and rivers is not just water. The water is our brother. It quenches our thirst, it carries our canoes, and feeds our children. So you must give to the rivers the kindness you would give to any brother.
If we sell you our land, remember that the air is precious to us, that the air shares its spirit with all the life it supports. The wind that gave our grandfather his first breath also receives his last sigh. So if we sell you our land, you must keep the air sacred, as a place where man can go to taste the wind that is sweetened by the flowers in the meadow.
Will you teach your children what we have taught our children? That earth is our mother, that what befalls the earth befalls all the sons and daughters of the earth. This we know. The earth does not belong to man. Man belongs to the earth. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand of it.
We love this earth as a newborn loves its mother's heartbeat. So if we sell you our land, love it as we have loved it. Care for it as we have cared for it.
I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed. When the grain rivers are clear, I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rain came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and the way was easy and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. And the guardian stars are shining, and the night is bright and clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and the sound was easy and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and the sound was easy and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. And the ancient pain is forgotten, and the father debts are clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. And peace spread over the land. And peace spread over the land.
Wow, Kat and our band, what a beautiful and timely song. I dreamed of rain and the rains came. Would you give them one more appreciation? Thank you so much. Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, we have had this service planned since Easter. And little did I know that when we would talk about the earth and our relationship with the earth, who would have known back then that on this particular day in Brazil, our rainforest would be on fire? That this particular day, what is considered the lungs of our earth would be on fire. And so I hope that you'll join me in that's a heightened sense of sensitivity around that and timeliness, and the realization that we today, that you today can raise your vibration, and we can learn things to change some of our actions perhaps, but we are the ones, as Gandhi said, that what? we've been waiting for. So I want to thank her again for that beautiful song. And as we talk about this, it's also the final Sunday in our summer series where we've been talking about principles, proverbs, and wisdom sayings. And you know, anytime there's a principle, a proverb, or a wisdom saying, it tells you something about yourself. There's a surface truth, but it also tells you something about yourself. And if you chew on it long enough, it really chews on you and helps awaken aspects of your being and your potential. Today I've chosen a wisdom saying by Thich Nhat Hanh that says, "Our miracle is not found in walking on water. Our miracle is walking on the earth." Isn't that beautiful? The miracle's not found in walking on water. You know, sometimes we look for the sacred or the special or the miraculous in those things that are supernatural. But our miracle is in the walking on the earth. You know, sometimes I have days where I'm feeling a little overwhelmed and I need to gain perspective. And so I have a practice that I'll take and I'll sit down a few minutes and I look around. So just look around this room. You're sitting here. Are you stable and sitting still in your chair? Well, yes and no. Because here we are. We appear to be still sitting in a chair. Yet we know we're on a round planet. So perhaps we're upside down, yet being held in place by gravity. And we know that we're flying through orbit at some astronomical speed with all of these other planetary things around us, and yet we're not crashing into any of them. You know, that really helps you get a knot out of your get-along and just like, let me just settle down here, that there's an order and an orderliness, and I am right now flying through orbit on a round planet, maybe hanging upside down, and I'm sitting in this chair with you, looking at you. So the miracle is not walking in water. The miracle is walking on the earth. Amen? In the story in the Old Testament and the story of Moses and the children of Israel, you probably saw the movie with Charlton Heston in it, maybe, but you may remember that Moses was raised in an ordinary way, and yet he was born to be a great man. And early in his life, he acted out. He actually killed someone, and then he went and run and hid. He was hiding from God. He was hiding from everybody. He was just trying to be off the radar. Have you ever just wanted to unplug and be off the radar and hide from God and everybody else? Well, that's what he was trying to do. But the universe was saying, wake up, or as Reverend Jim says, stay woke, Moses. Wake up, and do what's yours to do. And as the story goes, Moses encounters this what? A burning bush. And he said it's just like this bush was illumined, but yet it wasn't consumed by fire, but it captured his attention. And when this nature in all its glory and beauty had caught his attention, he heard these words. And the word says, Moses, take off your shoes. You are standing on holy ground. Take off your shoes. You're standing on holy ground. That the miracle is not found in walking on water. The miracle is walking on the earth. Well, today we want to talk about what is sacred ground. Do you know the earth and all creation as sacred ground? Do you know yourself as sacred ground? And there's 4 things we want to look at that we'll talk about them sequentially, but yet they all work together. They're always, you can't extract one from the other. But what my hope is that you have a felt sense, perhaps a shift for some, perhaps a quickening, but a felt sense of why you are here. And I'm not talking necessarily about why you're here this day, but I'm talking about why you are here on planet Earth. Any of you wonder, why am I on planet Earth? Well, when you leave today, if you listen, you'll know. So why you are on planet Earth, that's good stuff to know that. The first thing to talk about is what we're talking about is a right relationship. In the, what is the tradition where they're silent in church? The Quakers. In the Quaker tradition, they refer to something called bear witness. that we're all here to bear witness to being in right relationship. Right relationship. That's why the Quakers were the ones that helped bring an end to slavery. That's why the Quakers have been leading the edge on some of the most important things, is because they believe we're here to bear witness to being in right relationship with one another, with our earth, with all beings. And so the first thing that we talk about to understand our sense of purpose is what I'm going to call the original plan. That each and every one of you are part of what we can refer to as an original plan. I want to use the story, the allegory that's found in Genesis. And in the creation story in Genesis, it says that God created the heavens and the earth and the waters and the sun and the moon and the animals, and then created mankind, man and woman, and God created them in our image. Look at it. It's not singular, it's plural. God said, and let us make mankind in our image. And then it says the Creator spoke to the creation and said, go and subdue the earth, multiply, till the land, and have dominion over all creation. Now, how many of you heard a story like that growing up? And what really gets heightened is people often use that word dominion, that we were created to have dominion over the earth, and it's often translated as dominion. And unfortunately, some people have used that to say, well, that means we can exploit the earth. That means we can do whatever we want to. But that is not what it meant. If you look at the original word dominion, and you seek to understand it, what it really means that you were created to responsibly care for the earth as if it were your own. To responsibly care for it as if it were your own. Now you begin to realize that that's part of the original story. You see, you didn't have to sign up for the job. You were born to do this. You were born to take care of creation as if it were your own. There are people that live in the beautiful mountains of North Carolina. Just imagine, how many of you live somewhere around here? You live in this beautiful place. And let's suppose that you live here and you have a home that you love and yards and gardens, but you don't like cold weather. And so come January, you want to close up shop here and go to Florida. Now go ahead and confess, some of you, that's what you do. Let us love you. When I lived in Seattle, the same thing there. Instead of going to Florida, they went to Arizona. So there's lots of people go to warmer weather. So let's just suppose you have your home here and your gardens, and now you're going to leave and go to Florida for 3 or 4 months. So you decide, I don't want to just leave my home vacant, sitting there. I want somebody to come in it and take care of it while I'm gone. But you're not just going to put an ad in the paper or out on Facebook and say, hey, first person replies, you want to come take care of my place for 4 months? Would anybody do that? No. You may not even invite your relatives. You're gonna find somebody. You're going to find somebody. You're saying, okay, I'm giving you the keys. I am entrusting you to take care of my place. You get that? I'm entrusting you to take care of my place. And what you want to find somebody that's going to treat your place with love, with respect, and they would care for it as if it were their own. Amen? That is the definition of what we interpret as dominion. The Creator in the story was saying, I want you to realize what gift you've been entrusted with. I want you to understand the gift that you have to take care of. And it is a responsibility, but you were born to do this. Your joy is tied to this. Your purpose is tied to this. When you really get the original plan and that you were created to take care of this, can you start to feel a different sense that there's a pride that rises? There's a sense of, I want to take care of this. I want to care for it. And not to forget and take it for granted. When I was in the Seattle area, there was a church that had a relatively small parking lot, and they had grown and they were having difficulty. People weren't coming because there was nowhere to park. But across the street, there was a business with a big parking lot, and they were only open Monday through Friday. So the minister and a few board members went over and had a meeting with the owner of that property and said, can we make a deal? What would you charge us? Can we rent your parking lot for Sundays to have it as overflow parking? And the owner said, well, I think so. Let me draw up a contract and we'll see what we can work out. And so the owner drew up a contract, and they met the week later, and the minister and the board sat down, and they were looking at it, and they said, this looks great, except you said we could use it. You put 52 Sundays. Could you change that to 50? You put 51 Sundays. Could you change that to 52? And the owner said, no, you can rent it 51 Sundays. And they said, well, why? We don't understand. He said, I'm going to put the chain back up and close it off one Sunday every year because I never want you to forget the gift and take it for granted. Isn't that powerful? The wisdom in that. What if the sun said, I'm going to not shine just one day? If the waters said, we're not going to flow one day? If the trees said, God forbid, I'm not going to be in this simpatico exchange thing with you, forget your oxygen thing for one day, we wouldn't be here. And so to realize that this gift of life is actually sacred. So the beginning point is to realize that it's part of the original plan, this beautiful sacred connection that we share. And to don't forget to remember that. The second thing, the original plan and how that works is through an original connection. As Pam and Charlie read from Chief Seattle, our ancestors, the elders, they realized this sacred connection, that it's what the Buddhists call interdependent origination, that my existence is mutually and deeply interconnected to yours and to all creation. As I said, we need the trees for the exchange with our oxygen. You sit down and eat food, you realize that food is the absorption of water and sunlight, that the energy that it received is the energy now you receive. If you really begin to look around, you realize that none of nature can exist independent. It all works together beautifully. Thich Nhat Hanh said, all being is interbeing. He said the entire cosmos is a cooperative. The sun, the moon, the stars live together as a cooperative. The same is true of humans, animals, trees, and the earth. If our life is not based on this truth, then we perish. There's an interconnectedness that we sometimes fail to realize. I love to go out for a walk or a hike. How many of you enjoy going out and being outside, and especially walking in this beautiful area? I'm particularly fond of walking alongside a body of water, a stream or a river. Walking one time, I noticed where the water sort of turned. It had created this beautiful whirlpool that you could just stand and see this natural whirling pool of water in the river. And I thought, I'd like to have that in my backyard. I wonder if I could get some friends and bring them over here, if we could dig that whirlpool up and put it in the back of the truck and just bring it on over to my backyard. And you laugh because it's ridiculous. You can't do that. You would never think that you could do that because the whirlpool is more accurately considered whirlpooling. It's something the river or the rivering does because of the streaming, because of the raining, because of the oceaning, because of the sunning. Do you get what I'm saying? That all of these things, are they really things, or are we experiencing aspects of the whole? That's what it is to really understand the sweet interconnectedness, the precious beauty of all of life in which we live and move and have our being. There's a story when I lived in Hawaii, the Hawaiians told a story to really drive home to their children the importance of understanding our connectedness. The Hawaiians say that when their ancestors came to the islands, they came across on wooden canoes that they made out of the trees. And as they made these big, long canoes and groups came over, they tell the story of one person who picks up a tool that had been made out of bone that was for digging, and as they're traveling on the canoe, the one person pulls out the tool and begins to carve a hole in the bottom of the canoe. And the people on the canoe said, "Stop, stop, what are you doing? Stop." And the person who's carving the hole said, "Mind your own business. This is my piece of the boat. What business is it to you?" And the Hawaiians tell that story to their children to remind them, if you carve a hole in the boat, everybody on the boat is going to get wet. And so that we all have a responsibility to understand this sacred connection of life. So it begins by realizing that there's an original plan, and that plan says we are here to care for the earth, to care for all creation, to care for one another. We've been entrusted to do that. That's what we're born to do. It then says that as a part of that is to realize the original connection and to know that you have a place, your place matters. I want to show you a slide, again, when I lived in the Puget Sound area, the Seattle area. You can see over to the right the beautiful Puget Sound, Mount Rainier, and then you see these drains that are all over the Pacific Northwest. But there's this little card that's attached, and what that says is the Puget Sound starts here. Now, it's a beautiful reminder because you can be in the middle, you can be down at Pike's Marketplace, you can be anywhere and not even see the water, but see one of those drains and see that little sign that says, remember, that beautiful Puget Sound starts here. It's a reminder, what if all of us could remember that sacred connection starts here, that whatever I do impacts the whole, that my actions truly matter to everybody and to everything around me. I want to show you a short video clip that comes from Yellowstone Park. Back in the mid-90s, they were having difficulty. The Yellowstone Park was beginning to deteriorate. The wildlife, the rivers, they were deteriorating. And so they asked themselves, why is this not in balance? And they realized there were no wolves. They had removed wolves, which should have been there as part of the natural aspect of creation. So they brought in 14 wolves in the mid-90s into the Yellowstone Park, and this is what happened. This is a 2-minute video. Isn't that awesome? Powerful. It's about remembering the original plan. We're here to be stewards, to care for what's entrusted to us. It's remembering the original connection. The third part is that leads to the original blessing. In that same story in Genesis of creation, it says, and God created this and said, it is good. And then God created this and said, it is good. And then God created this and said, it is good. 6 times, all creation, including humanity, it says the Creator created this and said, what? It is good. It is good. That declares goodness. It implies that there's an inherent goodness in all creation. You see, when we begin to see the goodness, the value, and the beauty in all creation, we begin to be advocates for the good and the beauty and the value of all creation. It sparks the original blessing in us. I told you a few minutes ago that, if you wonder what your purpose is to care for the earth and all creation as if it were your own, as if you loved it. And to realize the sacred connection of all life. And when you begin to live in that awareness, it opens you to a greater connection within your being. The original plan, the original connection, that leads to the original blessing where you really begin to feel joy and blessing flow through your life. And that leads to original purpose that gives you a sense of purpose, that feeling that feels like, how many of you, when you are on purpose doing something that matters, that's one of the best feelings in the world. When you feel good about what you're doing and you feel like you're making a difference and you feel like you're being guided and you're using your resources, that's what we're here to do. And it is born out of realizing I am here to care for what has been entrusted to me. I want to invite up Elder Sharon Oxendine. We're so blessed to have Sharon as a member of our congregation. She's from Lumberton, North Carolina originally, and is an elder recognized in the Lumbee tribe. She does so much in our community, and I know this woman personally, and I know the heart and the soul that she has. I know that she walks with Spirit. Today I've asked her to lead us in calling in the 4 directions. A special blessing for us as we also hold the Amazon right now, and to hold all of those things. Before she begins, as she prepares to begin, I want to invite you to sing this song through with me one time. Some of you will know it, that says, we're standing on holy ground. We are standing on holy ground, and I know that there are angels all around. Some you can see, some you can't. Let us praise creation now, for we are standing in this presence of holy ground.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Reverend Darlene, for asking me to be here today to do this prayer. I just want to say this is a very special community. This is a very special tribe to me. 3 years ago, I feel like I began to find my deepest purpose here. And as I shared in the earlier service, watching that video about the wolves, I had a wolf live with me for 10 years. It was the most incredible lesson that I ever had. I would like to ask you to picture some place in your life as we start this prayer that is holy ground for you, and to begin to close your eyes as I call the directions in the prayer. And in my tradition, as Reverend Darlene was saying about the land, we are the land, and the land is us. There is no separation. All my relations. Creator, as we come together this morning, this very special sacred time for this very special tribe who believes in honoring all that you have created in such a special way. This morning, as I stood on her back in my bare feet and felt the dew on that beautiful grass run through me. I was so grateful for all the gifts. And in your mind, on that special holy ground, face east, the place of the rising sun, the place of Grandfather Eagle, because it is in the east we as a tribe face and begin again another day. Facing that place of east and that element of fire, we give so much thanks to all that we have before us on this beautiful day. And then turning to your left and facing north in your mind, White Buffalo Calf Woman is sitting there in the beautiful place of the north, the woman that brought the native people the way to pray with a sacred pipe. We give so much thanks for this place in the north and this element of wind, which brings in purification and cleansing for each one of us. Thank you. Thank you. And again, we will turn in our minds to the place of the west and Grandfather Bear, the place of the cave, and those caves in our lives that have brought solace and solstice, and also the place we walk into when we're leaving this life, the place of endings, but the beautiful place of the element of water, which we give so much thanks for water in our lives today, that living being that it is. And again, turning to the south, the place we walk into the medicine wheel, the place of trust, place of Grandmother Coyote that gets us to laugh at ourselves and know that we can have fun and be that innocent child on the inside. We give thanks again for the place of the south and the element of earth that it represents. And for all things above, the sun, the moon, the stars, for all things below, that beautiful earth mother, the two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, the standing ones, those beautiful trees, all that flies, the winged ones. Let's give thanks for all these beautiful creations today. Feel the heartbeat of her today as you walk on her. To all my relations, I say, Ahoma Takwiyasan.
We are standing on holy ground, and I know that there are angels all around. Let us praise creation now, for we are standing in this presence on holy ground. I invite you to stand. And in your imagination, I want you to place yourself as close as you can to the Amazon rainforest. And we want to ask and give thanks for help. We want to call on the Spirit for all who are in a position to make the choices and the decisions that will help. We also commit ourselves to asking what is ours to do to help. And so as we hold this, as we hold the fire, and as we hold the water, the medicine for the fire, as we hold the awareness that we have taken ourselves out of balance, and as we hold the truth that we're created to be in balance, as we hold these things, we stand together and sing. We are standing
there are angels all around. And let us praise creation now, for we are standing in this presence on holy ground.
Now, as you join the hand of somebody, I want you to smile and know we can do this. And raise your vibration. Turn up the love. Turn up the love. Turn up the faith. Sing it one more time.
We are standing on holy ground, and I know that there are angels all around. Let us praise creation now, for we are standing in this presence of holy ground.
Do it one more time. Lift your voice.
We are standing on holy ground, and we stand as holy ground. And I know that there are angels all around.
Here's some of those angels.
Let us praise creation now, for we are standing in this presence for holy ground.
Yes, we
Are standing in this presence
as holy ground.
as holy ground.
Would you hug someone and say, I was born to do this? I was born to do this. I was born to do this. You were born to do this. Thank you. You may be seated. And as you are being seated, in honor of this day, we have a gift for each of you. There's a beautiful little bag with our Unity logo that says radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, socially responsive. My prayer for you is that this will be your last straw. That it's a bamboo straw, so you don't have to use any more plastic. And there's a little brush because cleanliness is next to godliness, you know. And so before you leave, our sustainability team members will be spread all about. And so may this last straw remind you every day that you can make a difference. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and for heaven's sakes, let us love the earth as we love our spirit. Thank you so much. Some of the last folks in the last service were asking, where can I get more of those? So we do have those in the bookstore too. So you can stop by there if you want some for friends and family. I want to ask our ushers to come up during this time. As our ushers are coming forward, this is where we have the opportunity to look around, to give thanks to what we create together. And it also anchors us back in why we're here. We are here to be a place that heals any case of mistaken identity. Beginning with ourselves, may we know the truth that we are the light of God. We are here to love one another. And may we be a beacon of that message and a healing medicine for our world. And so as our ushers come forward, we dedicate our gifts to this. So as you feel so inspired to give of your tithe and offerings to support this endeavor, We hold these gifts, we hold the blessings that flow through our heart. Would you join me in this affirmation that says, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. I am now in perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving. Thank you, God, and so it is. Amen.
I am the river flowing, I am the desert dry, I am the four winds blowing, I am the sunset sky, I am the forest breathing, I am the ocean wide, I am the storm clouds gathering, I am the mountain high, I am the earth, I am the earth, I am the earth, I am the We are the children growing, we are the place we live, we are the seed you're sowing, we are the life you give, we are the future rising, we will be your voice, we are the seed you're sowing, we are the life you give. I am the earth, I am the earth, I am the earth, I am the I am the river flowing, we are the children growing, I am the desert dry, you are the place we live, I am the four winds blowing, you are the seed you're sowing, I am the sunset sky, we are the life you give. I am the earth, I am the earth. Please sing with me. I am the earth, 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 I am the earth. We share the future only, side by side we're growing, one earth, one people, we'll turn the tide. They'll say with pride, one earth, one people high. You said to me, we turn the tide. I am the earth, sing loud. I am the earth, I am the earth, I am the earth, I am the earth, I am the earth. We
Stella, thank you for moving your earth with us when the earth moves. As our ushers come forward and Madeline comes forward as our sacred service volunteer coordinator, as they come forward, they are here to remind us of how these things are working in our lives. Would you please share with us?
In gratitude, we bless the resources that flow through our lives and through our Unity Center, the gift of prayer and our sacred connection, our capacity to serve and to make a difference with our lives, and together we affirm the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God enables us, the presence of God abides with us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Thank you, Carol. Carol and our prayer chaplains will be available just through that door after the service in our prayer chapel if you'd like prayer as an individual, a couple, or a family. Last but not least, as we bring the service to a close, it's the last Sunday in August. That means it's birthday Sunday. So if you had a birthday in August, come on, August birthday babies, would you come on up here and join us so that we can bless you and acknowledge you and sing to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you are wonderful. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah. Be sure to get your birthday gift. Be sure to get your Earth Day gift. So would you please stand as we bring this service to a close? Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with us.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, brothers and sisters are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous song. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The Earth song. Which one do you want to do? Both of them? Yeah, let's do the Earth song. I am the river flowing, I am the desert dry, I am the four winds blowing, I am the sunset sky, I am the forest breathing, I am the ocean wide, I am the storm clouds gathering, I am the mountain high. I am the earth. I am the earth. I am the earth. the children growing. We are the place we live. We are the seed you're sowing. We are the life you give. We are the future rising. We are the life you voice. We'll watch and learn from you. We will make a choice. I am the earth. 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 I am overflowing. We are the children growing. I am the desert dry. You are the place we live.